Mrs. Smith. My name is Barb. I'm your nursing assistant, and I'm going to help you get dressed so you can go down and play bingo. I'm first going to decontaminate my hands, and I'm going to pull the curtain. For the state test, if it's in your way, once you have pulled it, you're allowed to push it back. Since I'm going to be raising the bed, I'm going to come around and raise the side rails. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to check my bed brakes. And the bed brakes on this side are locked. And the one on this side is locked as well. So I'm going to raise the bed. Did you sleep well, Mrs. Smith? Okay, we're going to put a bath blanket on to keep you nice and warm. I hear you're the bingo champion. Years of practice, huh? Okay, if you grab a hold of the top of that, we're going to lower the blanket, get it out of our way, and we will try and fan fold it to the foot of the bed. Keeping Mrs. Smith nice and covered. Now, Mrs. Smith, we have the outfit over here that you told me you wanted to wear today. So we're going to dress you in that. I'd first like to say that Mrs. Smith has an affected side. Her right side is weak. And so when you dress someone with a weak or an affected side, you want to dress that side first, but when you remove their clothing, you take it off the strong or the non-affected side. So since her right side is affected, we're first going to remove the gown from her left side. Here we go, Mrs. Smith. I'm going to be sure and keep you covered. Oh, excuse me. Okay, we're going to pull the gown through. Roll it in on itself for infection control. Keeping you covered. Oh, we have this lovely satin top. Now, since her right side is affected, I'm going to move around to the right side of the bed, raising my rails first. When you dress an affected side, you need to put your arm up the bottom of the sleeve, gathering it on your own hand. Here, Mrs. Smith, may I have your hand, please? So I have my hand up the sleeve. I'm grabbing a hold of Mrs. Smith's hand and arm, and I'm sliding the shirt up the affected or weak arm. Oh, this is a nice outfit, Mrs. Smith. Can you push off with your unaffected side and help me sit up a little bit? There we go. The other thing I could have done was to roll Mrs. Smith from side to side, which I will do for her pants. Okay, let's get you buttoned up here. This looks like a cozy outfit. Keeping you covered. Rest of the buttons. So she's nice and cozy. I'm going to get her slacks. I grabbed her socks at the same time. And now I'm going to loosen up the blanket so that her legs are exposed. I will note that this is the critical element for this skill, dressing the affected side or the weak side first when you put on the clothes. And again, you must put your hand up the bottom of the pant leg, grabbing a hold of the affected side or weak side. Here we go, Mrs. Smith. Going to bring it about up to the level of the knee. And since she's a mannequin and her foot doesn't cooperate as well, I'm putting my hand up this pant leg, but it's not necessary to do on a real person. Okay, I'm shimming the pants up to about her thighs. While I'm keeping her covered, I'm going to ask her to help me turn her on her side. Mrs. Smith, can you look towards me, please? Cross your arms. And we're going to raise this so you don't get mummified. Bend your weak knee. I'll help you here. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to expose her so you can see what I am doing. We're going to bring the pants up over her hip as far as we can reach. You doing okay, Mrs. Smith? You breathing okay? Okay. And now, just bring this arm this way. I'm going to turn you slightly towards me, and I'm right here so you will not fall. Again, I'm going to overexpose her so you can see the pants were pulled up, and if they weren't, I would just pull them up at this time. I'm also going to pull down her shirt and make her comfortable in her clothing. How's that feeling, Mrs. Smith? Oh, I'm glad. Make sure that her pants are on straight, comfortable, and we have her socks. The concern with the socks is you don't want any wrinkles left in them to irritate the skin and cause the skin to break down. So as you get the socks on, you want to smooth them up the ankle, up the leg. And for the state test, you want to say out loud, nice and smooth, no wrinkles, so you get credit for that. In real life, you want to make sure there are no wrinkles. And you would do the same with the other foot. Almost done, Mrs. Smith. You've been so patient. Nice and smooth, no wrinkles. How do those feel on your feet? Okay? Good. Okay, the last thing we want to do is to put her shoes on. And in real life, normally we would not put shoes on while someone is in bed, but this is required for the state test. So I have a pair of slip-on shoes here. What I'm going to do is use a towel to put underneath her feet to protect her linen. And then this towel is contaminated, so it would go into the hamper. Here we go, Mrs. Smith. Like Cinderella, you're going to try on the shoes. There we go. And I'm going to leave this on the bed for now until she gets out of bed. So, let's cover you back up and remove the bath blanket. Can you hold those covers for me, please, Mrs. Smith? Thank you. You look very nice. We'll get your hair done up and your makeup on, and you'll be feeling like $1 million. Okay. And lower the bed. Yes, I'm going to lower the bed. Lower the side rails. Is there anything else you need at the moment, Mrs. Smith? Okay, we'll be back shortly. Here's your call light. It's clipped to your pillow. Can you reach it? Okay, the bed is in the lowest position. The soil things are in the hamper. I'm going to push back the curtain. She has all the things she needs, and I'm going to wash my hands. The dressing skill is now complete.